You're listening to Writers Talk, the online radio show for authors and book lovers everywhere, brought to you by Mithra Publishing, the third option.
I'm Gregory Gower, and you are listening to Writers Talk, brought to you by Mithra Publishing.
Writers Talk, brought to you by Mithra Publishing, the third option.
Thanks for tuning in to Writers Talk, brought to you by Mithra Publishing. I'm Kizin Kwacha, and with me today I have got a woman known to millions all over the world as the social media phoenix. Now, this name, I'm told, is because of her unique ability to revive and to bring tangible results to even the most troubled business. A truly remarkable woman. And she's also a writer as well. So she's smart, she writes, and she's right here on Writers Talk. How lucky are we? Erin Tillotson. Erin, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and share the story of rising social media from the ashes with you.
Excellent, thank you. And before we came on air, you were saying that you thought I had a funny accent. What's that all about?
Well, it's not funny, it's beautiful. I love it. We don't hear the accent often over here. I love to hear it. It's definitely nice.
Well, I was going to say, your accent does sound a bit odd. I was thinking, are you Swedish or Greek or something? Well, where's that from?
Well, it's probably just good old American, but I am Irish. I wish I sounded more Irish, for sure.
Oh, top of the morning to you.
Yes, definitely.
Tell me about this nickname that you have. I said to somebody yesterday, we're going to be interviewing Erin Tillotson, and they said, Erin who? I said, they said, you mean the social media phoenix? People know you by that name more than anything else. What is the social media phoenix, and how did you come about that name?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the social media phoenix. I've worked with social media for, almost 6 years now, and I have a lot of businesses come to me and they're struggling with their social media, or they've paid a lot of money and it just isn't working for them. So I use the social media phoenix, analogy because the phoenix rises from the ashes. They die and then they rise again, and they die and they rise again. Even if you've had problems with it before and you feel like it's down in the ashes, down in the dirt and not working, we will rise you up like an inferno and really make your social media skyrocket. So that's how the social media phoenix came to be.
And have you ever had cases of companies coming to you and you take one look at them and you think, there's nothing at all I can do for you, it's too late?
Oh no, I've actually never had that happen. That would be a really sad situation, but there's always something customers want from you on social media. There's always something you can offer, and there's really missed opportunities I see businesses making, and that's where I come in. I ignite those opportunities and really optimize on them. So there's always something that you can do, more things you can add and try. Try again.
Yep,
yeah? Definitely.
Wise words indeed. Now, returning to the topic of books, you're one of the contributors to a book called Facebook for Your Business. Your chapter was Great Content, Great Results. Tell us some more about the chapter and the ideas behind it.
Yeah, that was a really fun chapter to write, and a lot of my clients and entrepreneurs out there that I talk to have a hard time getting their Facebook posts to do anything for their business. They're saying stuff, but it's not really doing anything. So the chapter is all about, making posts on your Facebook page that get people to opt in or get people encouraged to buy or to participate, whether it's a contest or a poll or you're just asking them a question. It's really getting people communicating and engaging with you on Facebook.
I think the problem with Facebook, certainly in the earlier years, was that many people kind of saw Facebook as being a social platform for talking to your mates about going to the pub or, what you're watching on television. And not many people realized or accepted that it is, or it could be, a business medium.
Yeah, it really was that way. And even in the last year, it's changed so much and the opportunities have grown so much. And there's so many people on Facebook and in so many different genres and interests and stuff like that. So really, no matter what you're selling, what your business is about, your target audience is on Facebook, and you can really narrow down your audience in Facebook and get the people that are really interested in what you have. So Facebook is the biggest opportunity for your business right now as far as targeting your marketing.
You're listening to Writers Talk, brought to you by Mitra Publishing. As always, I'm Kizin Kwacha, and I'm talking to Erin Tillotson, the social media phoenix. I've got tons and tons of questions for Erin, all about social media and how you can leverage it for your business. But before then, let's take a pause, and we'll see you just after the break.
I love listening to Writers Talk on Mitra Radio.
Hi, I'm Laura C. George, the business coach for creatives, and today I'd like to talk to you about a new book that's out called Facebook for Business. In my chapter, The Relationship Builder in Facebook for Business, I answer all of your burning questions about how to use Facebook for Business, including things like how do you approach Facebook for Business, how do you get good attention instead of the bad attention on Facebook. I teach you how to stop wasting your time commenting all over your Facebook. I tell you why you shouldn't be looking for new followers on Facebook. Yeah, that's a big one. Sound crazy? You've got to read this chapter. I also tell you how the 80-20 rule applies to your posts and what exactly do you post. And then here's the kicker, my favorite part of the entire chapter. I teach you where to draw the line on how personal is too personal for Facebook. And I know that's a difficult one, and I'm going to teach you where you're supposed to draw it and how you're going to figure out what fits for you, and you're going to draw that line of how personal you're going to get on Facebook. So if you're interested, I would love it if you checked out Facebook for Business, the new book that's out. Again, I am Laura C. George, the business coach for creatives, and I hope you'll check out Facebook for Business.
I love listening to Writers Talk on Mitra Radio.
That was a quick ad break. Thank you for tuning in. This is Writers Talk, and I'm talking to Erin Tillotson, the social media phoenix. Now, Erin, for somebody like you, I'm pretty sure that you live, breathe, and sleep social media. You're constantly thinking about new ways of engaging customers and getting people involved. When you go on Facebook, do you do it because it's fun, or are you constantly looking at it with a clinical eye and trying to analyze what people are doing, what works and what doesn't?
You know, that's a funny question. I actually hear it a lot. I have a system for me, during my business hours from, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. When I go to Facebook, it's pretty much all business. But after my office hours, if I go to Facebook, I'm there to talk with my friends or my family, and if there's an ad on the side that interests me personally, I will definitely check it out. But I have to kind of flip a switch in my brain to turn it off. Otherwise, I literally would be working 24/7.
I know the feeling. I think my work diary is pretty much the opposite of yours. Between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for me, I have a cup of tea, and I read the newspaper, watch some television, play some golf maybe, and after 3 p.m. I might think about doing some work. I might think about it, but I usually just change my mind. It's just too much hassle, really. How many days a week just between the two of us, how many days a week do you work?
I only work 4 days a week, so I have the nice long weekends with my kiddos. It's great.
Oh, what a lifestyle. I envy you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we go and we have our family trips on the weekend, and we go to parks and all sorts of fun stuff. So it's a really nice to have the longer weekends for your family.
Well, it's good to get that life, work, social balance thing going, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is a struggle sometimes, but it's so important for us, especially entrepreneurs, to take that time away from our businesses to really fill our personal cup back up and make sure we have the energy to get going again.
We're talking about energy to get going. I know that one of the things that you do in your own spare time is that you write as well. What sort of writing do you do at the moment?
Well, I have multiple personalities, I guess you could say, for writing. I do my business writing, which is pretty much all how to grow your business online with, the internet. And then I have my personal writing where I write about, just what's happening in my life. And I have my kids join in with me. So it's kind of a nice way for us all to connect and, share things as a family. So it's really a nice thing to get your feelings out and keep yourself energized.
And so this writing that you do, the personal side, it's not really for publication, is it?
Nope, it's not.
Right, can we get a copy?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let me know, and we'll call the printing presses and see if we can get a book out of it.
Thank you. Yeah. We can include the kid drawings and all that good stuff too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely. How old are your children, by the way?
The older one is 4 and the little one's 1.5.
Wow, that is a full-time job, isn't it, really?
Yes, and they're home with me pretty much all the time, so it's good.
And when you do find time for some personal writing, I understand you do write about social media.
Yeah, so anything from Facebook to Twitter to LinkedIn or the systems behind it. So, we can all be posting stuff all day long, but we really need to know what it's bringing back into our business. So you have to have those tracking systems in place and really know, are you bringing in leads? Are you bringing in sales? Where is it coming from? Which platform? Is it coming from Twitter? Is it coming from Facebook? So I really help businesses understand how to track the ROI, the return on investment for their social media, so they know it's really working.
Are there any social media that you would say probably isn't right for businesses, or isn't the best one for business?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question, because some social media platforms are better for certain types of businesses than others. So certainly the corporate businesses where, you're dealing with professional, CEOs of companies, you definitely want to be on LinkedIn. So definitely those companies, you want to optimize where your people are.
Okay, and do you think that the social media platforms have their own identities? Because I think I remember talking to one of the social media gurus from a couple of weeks ago, and she said that she thought that Twitter was, no, I think Facebook was your best friend and LinkedIn was your boss. I can't remember what she said Twitter was, but she kind of suggested that Twitter was maybe somebody who talks a lot. Do you see the platforms in a different way?
Yeah, that was Laura, I think that interview was, and I saw her interview. It was really nice. And I do agree they have their distinct personalities. And I think businesses really need to hone in on what their interests are, what their goals are, before they choose which platform to really optimize.
Are there certain things that you would ask businesses to not do when it comes to using social media?
Yeah, so for Facebook, you really have to be careful when you're bringing business onto your personal profile. I've had a lot of people get their personal profiles closed because all they're doing is promoting their business. If you're on Facebook for business, you really want to have a business page for your business, and then you can post pretty much anything you want. And you want to make sure you have that nice balance of, promotional and content, so giving them good information. I generally go with the 80-20 rule, which is where you're giving them 80% of really good learning content where they're getting something from it, and then 20% promotional. So you're not over promoting, but you're generally giving them more than you're asking for back.
Are there any hard and fast rules that businesses should absolutely never ever break when it comes to using social media?
Yeah, I see sometimes when businesses come onto Facebook and they're learning the platform, and there's the tool that you can use on Facebook, and it's called tagging, where you can, write a post and you can tag a bunch of people. And you really want to be careful when you're using that, because if you go through and you're just tagging everybody on your post, it's really considered spam. Like, you get spam in your inbox. So you want to be careful, because one, Facebook can shut you down, and two, you might burn some bridges that you've already created with your business. So you've got to really be careful with that.
So there's a real balancing act, isn't there, really, between, trying to be as proactive as possible and not being overzealous in promoting your brand.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, I think that's a lesson we could all learn when it comes to using Facebook. I'd imagine that most of our readers out there accept that Facebook and in fact all of the social media platform is a way of life. It's something we simply cannot avoid. But I think the problem that a lot of us have is figuring out how to use it, when to use it, and why we should use it. Is there any resource online? Are there books that you've, apart from, of course, Facebook for Business, are there any other books, or is there anything that you think people should use this if they're going to be using, for example, Facebook?
Yeah, definitely. There's one book that I read a couple years ago. It's actually called Social Media 101 by Chris Brogan. And that's a really good book to kind of get the nuts and bolts of social media and figure out, how it really works. And not that you're just sending stuff out all the time. It's really about building a relationship with the people. And as far as a tool goes, something that I use every day for myself, it's called Hootsuite. And it's like a social media dashboard. So you can integrate all of your social media accounts. So Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all those profiles, you pull them into this dashboard and you can check all your messages in one place. So we're all busy entrepreneurs. We're all got these crazy schedules. When you use a tool like this, it takes you, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night to go through and see if anybody has, said something to you or sent you a message. That way you don't have to log into each platform individually and spend, an hour. It really saves a lot of time.
How easy is it for you to use? Because a lot of people might not be as technically blessed as you are. Is it quite a straightforward program to use?
Yes, it's very easy. A lot of my clients are not, the technically inclined as I am. So, they're the spiritual healers or they're authors themselves. So it has columns and you just go through each column and you see, if anybody said anything to you or if you want to reply. It shows you your home feed for Twitter and your home feed for Facebook, and you can just go through each column and you click one button to make a comment. So it's really, really easy to use.
Excellent. And if any of our readers have any questions about their social media activity or social media presence and they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, you can go to my website, erintillotson.com, or you can email me, of course. My email's erin@erintillotson.com, and you spell it, my last name is Tillotson.
That's a good Irish name there, isn't it?
Yes, very. Thank you.
Okay, Erin, just before you go, predictions time, the future of social media. What do you see as being the big developments on the social media front in the years to come? What are the big changes we're likely to experience in relation to social media?
Yeah, every day more and more people. I think Facebook has, like hundreds of thousands of people that come onto Facebook every day. So definitely Facebook is one to watch. They have all these changes coming, and so I think they have some big plans coming for us to make the system easier on the business side for us to market to the general public. So I think Facebook advertising and the Facebook pages are definitely improving for us entrepreneurs.
Excellent. So we should all be paying more attention to Facebook advertising, it seems.
Yes, definitely.
Erin, it's been an unspeakable pleasure talking to you, and looking forward to catching up with you maybe in the next couple of weeks to find out some more about your social media work and some of the clients that you're representing. But for now, thank you so much